בוקר טוב, מה שמך? איך קוראים לך? שמי פול. מה שמך? איך קוראים לך? שמי דניאלה. קוראים לי דניאלה. נעים להכיר אותך? גם לי. מה שלומך? בסדר, תודה. ואתה? טוב מאוד, תודה. להתראות. נתראה מאוחר יותר.
Hello and welcome to today's lesson, Hebrew. So let's go through the text. You just heard the text that was spoken to you. In case you don't know the writing yet, we will not specifically study the writing system in this video. I may do another video for this, but for now I would like to focus on conversational Hebrew, getting you to speak. I think it's a good idea to just follow the Hebrew letters as we go along, just on the side, to get familiar with them, and then and then you can later on you can start practicing the writing and also follow along the letters. What's helpful, I think, is when we go through the text, as you can see here. What I did was, as you may know already, that in Hebrew not all of the vowels are written down. So what I did was the letters, the vowels that are missing from the words. If you compare, for example, boker. Boker is this word right here. As you know, Hebrew is written from right to left. So basically, what we see here is basically the other way around in Hebrew. So what's written here, Daniela, is basically you read it like this. So da, D, N, and so on is written in this way. Okay. So for example, in the word boker, we have the B right here. We have the O, which is rendered using a vav, which is very common in Hebrew. You will see the vav used a lot to render the letters O or U. The Q, this is the Q, and this is the R. So as you can see, we have B, O, Q, R. And the E in boker, which is pronounced as an E, is not written. So there is only 4 letters in Hebrew instead of 5, and the one that is not written in Hebrew, I marked in gray. Also here the ma. The ma is written in Hebrew using a mem, M, and an A and the H, so MH. So there is no ma written down. There is a punctuation system in the Hebrew language where you could or you can basically use punctuation to mark the vowels. But since the writing system is not my focus, I did not include this system in our video series. So if you want to learn how to write the punctuation system, you would have to find, there are a lot of videos on YouTube, for example, where you can just Google or look for a video that teaches you the writing system, and you will find a lot, I believe. So maybe we can do it later on, but I think for now we should focus on getting you to speak, having conversations, and later on I think would be a good idea. Maybe then reading, if you can recognize the words, then I may point out some things during the video regarding the writing, but it's not the focus right now. Okay, so let's look at the first sentence in this conversation. So the first sentence is basically talks about Daniela says Boker Tov. So what does Boker Tov mean? Boker Tov literally means, well, it means good morning, but the word order in Hebrew is reversed. So Boker means morning, and so this means morning, and Tov means good. Like this maybe, okay. So this means morning good or good morning. And yeah, then we have the sentence Ma shimcha. Ma means what? And shimcha means your name. Your name, or literally it means name your. So the ending cha here means your. And this is, in Hebrew, we always have a masculine and a feminine form. So when Daniela, who is a woman, asks Paul, who is a man, for his name, then she has to use the cha endung, shimcha. And as you will see in the next sentence, when Paul responds, you will see that he will respond in a different way, because when he asks Daniela, he has to use the feminine form. Okay, so this is the masculine form. So I can mark this as masculine. And this is a rather formal way of asking for someone's name. We also have an informal way, and this is ech korim lecha. So ech means how. Korim means they call, and lecha means you. And as you can see here, the cha ending in lecha is the same as the one in shimcha. Shim or shem means name, and shimcha means your name, masculine. And lecha means you, in the sense of they call you, or I see you. And other object pronouns, for example. So ech korim lecha. Yeah, so ech means how, korim they call, and lecha is you, and it's also the masculine form. Okay, maybe I can write that down as well, so you have it complete. And it skips lines. Just do it this way. Yeah, it's not space is not enough, so we just have to leave it this way then. Yeah, but I think you get the idea. So you in this case means lecha. So yeah, just mark this so you know what you means. So this is an object pronoun. It's a yeah, because the second person you, in the sense of you are here, is a different word. So you have to know the difference between a subject and an object of a sentence. Okay, so Boker Tov is good morning. Ma shimcha is the formal way of asking for a male's name, and ech korim lecha is a little bit more informal way, the more casual, let's call it casual, the more casual way. Okay, let's go to the next sentence. the next sentence, in this sentence, Paul. Yeah, again, remember that we read from right to left in Hebrew. So as you can see, Paul, it's written Paul in Hebrew. So this is a P. This is the O again, and this is an L. So P-O-L. Okay, and then he says Shmi, Paul. So what does everything mean? So Shmi means my name, or literally name my. And as you can see, at the we saw in the previous sentence, if we jump back here, we saw that there is a shimcha. There was an I in between the sh and the m sound, and in this case we have shmi. So the e is dropped. So you don't say shimi or shemi, you say shmi. But from a writing perspective, you can see this is the sound for the sh. Then we have the m, and this is an I, an e here. You can see there is no vowel here, so you don't know if this in theory is pronounced shemi or shami or shumi. You just have to know it, unless of course you use the punctuation marks. Then of course it can be different. Then you can really read it literally. But like I said, in Israel, people don't really use it, and in cursive writing, so in handwritten writing, it's not used at all. So you basically have to know how the words are written. So this is why I would like to not get into the punctuation. I would like you to be able to recognize the words at least, as they're written. I think it's easier when you're learning that you don't get used to the punctuation a lot, because you won't see it in Israel anywhere. So you just have to know that this is Shmi. So I think, in my opinion, I also studied, of course, Hebrew, and for me, I didn't really learn or study the punctuation. I kind of avoided it in my class. So because I knew that in order to be able to read properly, you would have to do without, and this is why I'm not really into the punctuation a lot. Of course, it helps reading everything correctly in the beginning, but the way I'm presenting the things to you with the Latin alphabet here down here, I think it's not that necessary, because I think that's in my opinion, a more effective method, because you can, in the beginning, of course, you can at least, exactly how it's pronounced without having to guess or to maybe make mistakes when reading the punctuation. Okay, so Shmi means my name, and this is regardless of whether or not this is a male or a female person. So as you will see in the next sentence, when Paul also asks Daniela what her name is, then Daniela will also respond with Shmi. So in the first person, it's the same. So my name is Shmi Paul. And then Paul asks Daniela what her name is. And he says, Ma Shmech. We already saw what means is ma, and shmech means your name, or literally name your. So this is the ech. The ech is the female form. Mashmech. And the more casual way of asking for her name is ech korim lach. How they call you. And see, we have the ach ending again. And it looks similar to the ech. So ech, ach, these endings are feminine. I'm just going to write that down for you. That's the feminine form, because Paul, as a guy, asks Daniela, and so he needs to use the feminine form to address her. And the same applies here. This means your name, and lach is the object pronoun for you, feminine also. So this of course, since he's asking both questions to her, he needs to use the feminine form for which goes with a noun here. The noun for name is sham or shem, and then the ending is shmich. And ech koim lach, that's a pronoun. It's not this is not an ending of a noun. This is a pronoun. You, it's lach. And the male form, as we remember, was lecha. So ech korim lecha is when you address a male person. And when you address a female person, then it becomes ech korim lach. Okay, and what does Daniela answer? Daniela says, Shmi Daniela. So you can see here, Shmi, as I told you in the previous sentence, means my name, or literally name my. So the my part again is the Shmi part. So the E here is the my. So Shmi Daniela. And Korim is the more casual way, and they call me Korim li Daniela. So li means me. So li is me, and also this is also for male and female. But when you address the other person with the pronoun or with the object pronoun you, it's either lecha if it's a male person, or lach if it's a female person. So, what does Paul say? Paul says, Naim lehakir otach. Alright, so again, Paul addresses Daniela. So he needs the female form. Naim means pleasant, or nice, pleasant. Lehakir means to get to know. And otach means you. That's a direct object verb. And otach, as we know, the ech, ach endings are always feminine. Okay, something that does not come up in this text, but that I can tell you or teach you. How would Daniela say the sentence to Paul? So if Daniela were to say to Paul, nice to meet you, how would she do it? What would she say? She wouldn't say, Naim lehakir otach, but she would have to use lehakir. She would have to use the masculine form of addressing Paul. And the masculine form is always, and when we go back to the first sentence, is cha. Cha. So, instead of saying otach, it is ot cha. Okay, so the cha ending is the male form. And the literal translation for this would be it's nice or pleasant to get to know you, but in this case, you is the masculine form. Okay, next sentence. When Paul said, Naim lehakir otach, nice to meet you, Daniela answers with Gamli. And Gamli means, Gam means also or to, with two O's. Also, I have to do it this way. So Gam means also, and Li means to me. We saw this in the previous sentence. The Li. Jump back real quickly. Here, they call me Korim Li Daniela. Okay, so here we have the Li again, and it means to me or me. So it's also pleasant to me. Gam Li. Okay, Gam, as you can see here, when we reference to the Hebrew writing, we have the G here, and the M, the Mem Sofit, the final M here, and the A is missing. So this is why I put this down in gray, so you know that the A is not written in Hebrew, but in Hebrew you just write GM and then Li, Li. All right. Then Paul asks, Ma shlomech? And what does shlomech mean? Ma shlomech means, how are you? And of course, it's not the literal translation. And literally, ma shlomech means we learned ma is what, and shlom, maybe you know the word for hello in Hebrew. It's shalom, and the A is dropped here. So you have shlom. And what does shlom or shalom mean? Shalom means peace. And ech is the ending, the feminine ending for you, or your. Sorry, for your. So the literal translation is, what's your peace? Or maybe you could, translate it with, are you peaceful, or something like this. Okay, ma shlomech. And then maybe just take a look. Yeah, we don't have the sentence here in this text, so I can just tell you what the other form is. So, if Daniela were to ask Paul, how are you? Or what's your peace? How would she have to ask this? From what you've learned so far, the ma doesn't change, but we have shalom or shlom as the short form, and then what would the ending be for your, for the masculine form? Ich, ach was feminine, so let's go back and take a look. And we have here the masculine form, of you was otach. Otcha. So the cha form is the you form in the masculine form, or the ending for the masculine form. Cha. So how would Daniela say, how are you? Ma shlom cha. And this means exactly the same as this. It means, what is your peace? Literally. And except that this form is a masculine form. Good. All right. So yeah, the original sentence was Ma shlomech, that Paul asked Daniela, and she says, Beseder toda ve'ata. So Beseder means okay. Or maybe, yeah, all right. I'm all right. Thanks. Toda means thanks. And then we have ve'ata. Ve means and ata means you. And this is a masculine form. So when you address a male person, you use ata. And when you address a female person, so how would Paul say the sentence? Paul would say, Beseder toda ve at. And at is the female form of you. So the translation, again, is basically the same. Sorry about that. For some reason, this always skips down. So, all right, thanks. And you, but in this case, this at is the feminine form. So when you address a female person, then you need to use at. All right, so Daniela asks ve'ata, and then Paul responds with tov me'od toda. So, what does this mean? Tov means, when we go back to the first sentence, we saw this here. Boker, again. Boker Tov. Boker Tov was good morning, but in a reversed order. So Boker means morning and Tov means good. So we know Tov means good. Then we just learned from Daniela that Toda means thanks. So we know Tov means good. Then we have Me'od, which is a new word, and it means very. And Toda means thank you or thanks. So Tov Me'od means very good. It's just in reverse order. Tov Me'od Toda. And again here we have the little a here, which is not written. You only write Todh, and there is no a here. So this is why the a here is gray. All right, and then Daniela says lehitraot, and this means goodbye. Lehitraot. The E is not written, there's no E here, and there is no E behind the H, so you have LH-TR Aleph OT. What does the Aleph do? The Aleph is used for expressing a vowel. It can be A, E, I, O, U, or to make a phonetic separation here. So you don't say lehitraot, you say lehitraot with a small pause in between. Lehitraot, lehitraot, and this is the pause here. Lehitraot. And Paul responds with, it's a little more complicated than lehitraot, but it's worth knowing because it's a sentence or a phrase that is used pretty commonly in Hebrew, the same as English. And it is nitra'e me'uchar yoter. It means see you later. Literally, it means we will meet. So this here is a this here is a future form of the word meet in the we form. So nitra'e means we will meet. Me'uchar means late, and yoter means more. And of course, late more means later, more late, later. Okay, so we will meet is nitra'e, me'uchar, late, more, yoter. So we will meet later, or in English we would say see you later. Okay, that was it for today. So if you have any questions or would like to make a comment, either comment below under this video, or for further questions, drop me an email using info@online-university.education. That's info@online-university.education. And I will see you soon. Nitrae meuchar yoter. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. Letraot.